Hello guys, welcome back to another lovely trading video. In this one we're going to be doing stock analysis on Peloton, ticker PTON. Firstly, just want to say thanks for hitting 300 subscribers today, but let's get straight into it. Firstly, just wanted to point out that today the big move was for the gap fill that was made about a week ago. So you can see, yeah, we completely filled that, did a small pullback before continuing its strong uptrend. So we can delete those and then get on to where can we see this going from here. Now firstly, using standard deviations, you can see that the top of this move was at our deviation, so that did signal a pullback, and something, if I actually saw a live market, would have shorted, more probably on a swing term basis, because what usually happens when you come into these levels is you get a relatively large pullback. So with Peloton, where can we see it pull back to? So a bit more ambitious would be a 107 pullback. Achievable, but what's more likely, and then we could continue to see an uptrend, would be 112.15. So those are both kind of key levels for pullbacks to be keeping an eye on. And as you can see, even on this day, it's where the pullback did and then continued upwards. So those would be the two levels where we could see this kind of pullback continue to before continuing its uptrend. Also, obviously, it could fail from here and continue lower, but if the uptrend does continue, this 112 and or 107 will be the turning point to continue upwards for Peloton. So if it does continue up, where do we have price targets? 130 will be the main key price target. Like if you're getting long now, or you're going to be getting long at the 112, 107, or whatever you have an entry, 130 would be that kind of key solid take profit area. And if we can break up further than that, then we have a target at 137, 149, 157, and on the very high end, 167. If we continue upwards, which as it is, Peloton is considered a large cap stock, it's not likely that you would break through this 167, 168 level. However, if it did, where would be 99% of the time a complete end to the move would be 176 all the way to 186. However, that would be very extreme. 168 would kind of be that main key extreme target. However, if you want a realistic target that you can lock in profits at, 130 would be that key one, and to be a bit more ambitious, 137. Going for anything above that, these 150, 157, 168 and all those levels are just very extreme, but those are our price targets if it continues in an uptrend. So now where would we be buying the stock? In a pullback, obviously I pointed out the 112 and 107 levels. I personally won't be buying these, but they're more just areas where we most likely to see the pullback continue to before continuing an uptrend. So these would be considered good long areas. However, they are high risk than what I would like to take myself. So where do I see low risk buy entries? Again, we'll just use the standard deviations for that, and 78, 93, 75, 58 will kind of be those key levels. And then as you can see, like Peloton last time, it came back to the second deviation on the daily, strong bounce, and this time we pull back to what we would consider a low risk entry before continuing up. So yes, sometimes you have to wait for them to come into these levels, but it most of the time pays off just to be patient. You don't have to be getting in the stock today, tomorrow, or whatever. Sometimes it makes more sense just to hold out, wait for the move, and get these strong moves like you do here. So those are kind of my key price targets. And as well, if we go over to a clean chart, you can see we have no more gaps to fill. The only gap we had left to fill was this one over here, which we ended up filling up on the strong momentum today. But as always, on near enough any stock, fills are always, or 95% of the time, filled. So you'll see any gap that Peloton's had, which it does seem to be quite a big gapping stock, they get filled. All of them, even these small ones, are going to be filled. So we knew most likely Peloton would continue up to kind of fill this move. The real question though will be, can we break to a new high? So obviously that 130 again will be that key level. Not only is it our standard deviation, but would also determine whether we're going to break into a so-called uptrend. So obviously that 129, 130 level will be key not only for standard deviations, but that will decide whether Peloton will change into a new uptrend, because right now we're kind of undecided. Obviously up here we had an uptrend, then we kind of switched to this downtrend, but now we're kind of consolidating. We're not really breaking high highs. We kind of did here, but nothing's really happened. We've now kind of putting back, consolidating. So if we can break through on 117 here, would kind of confirm that uptrend, and then not only does it mean you'll probably lock in the profits at the 130, but if you're holding more or getting long for some reason at those levels, these levels are more achievable. Is obviously if we can break this high, so then the 137 will be achievable, 149, 157, and then on the very extreme ends like the 170 and above. So hope you enjoyed the breakdown on Peloton. Hope to see you in the next one, and that's it. Peace.